Alright, guys. I know I have a big sin again. I don't know why I keep on what do you call this? I don't know why I keep on asking for, apologies or asking for apologies at the start of a podcast, start of an episode. I know. Anyways, it's already over. I mean, the Christmas is over, and we're just 2 days away from the big day, before the new year, 2024, right? And we're still here. I mean, you and I. So that's a huge thing for us both. And I'll say that it's a source of gratitude. So many things that I should have shared, but I didn't share. So anyway, some of the things would be ano ba yun? Siguro, I think about a month ago, or almost a month ago, I realized something eerie, something eerily there in my persona that somehow tells me my mission in life. And I think I want to share it also with you. To my daughter, I told her she's not yet ready for it, or she's not yet ready to hear it, but I'm sure she knows what I mean. So it may be the same for you. Anyway, so yun yung mga bagay na I think we will be sharing the next couple of episodes. So here's to wishing you Merry Christmas. I don't know what you've done in the past few days. I rediscovered Reels and YouTube, and cross-posting. I have a new line of content in my other social media, which is just music. This day in music, I found a relatively good place to, like a source, of sorts, from which I share, important things that we remember, every day. Yun yung isa. And then, the other one, I would say, siguro starting tomorrow, o ba kaya later, mga top picks, sa stock market. Kasi yun talaga ako. That's really who I am. And if you're not following, siguro you're not yet following, follow niyo yung DreamShadowTV kasi doon yung mga shorts. I think I'll start tomorrow with the 3 most important stocks to follow, or even to buy, at this point in the stock market. Kasi I think wala na ngayong tama ba? Or do we have trading today? I think meron nga siguro na. We have trading today up until 4:30. Tapos we'll close the year 2023. And then we'll come up with several choices. Pero ang point doon is that which stocks are the most bullish and undervalued. Terms. We will explain that. Hindi naman kasi ito yung place for that. Siguro magugulat kayo. What is he talking about? So, yan, yun yung other personality. If you're familiar with Sensui, that's me. Meron tayong 7 personalities. When I watched Split, na-realize ko 22 pala yung personalities ko. Anyway, ayun. So if you're not a subscriber of DreamShadowTV, I think you should check that out. Instagram din tayo. InstaGeorge222. Okay, then siyempre Facebook. Ramon George Atento. The one with the mask on, right? Yan. Here I am stuck in traffic again. It's like before. Ayun. So, ano ba yung dapat ko i-share? Yun yung pagiging part of the light, parang light people or bringer of light or whatever. Although the one who shared that, medyo napunta sa mga ufology, aliens, whatever. mga time travel. So I don't want to share this in that context kasi baka mamaya mawalan siya ng meaning, you know. Pero I like that idea of being, you know, part of that group. I mean, the group of like light bringer or guides, you know, in this world. And I think matagal ko na yun sinasabi, and somehow I found a good place in that thought. The idea lang, ano, there are so many things that maybe I will disagree with her, you know, the author. But I think yung part wherein we are like, some of us, by the way, you know, are chosen to be guides for others. Like ano sinasabi yan eh, di ba? Sabi nga, we're like eternal, ano sabi nga natin, we are guardians at the end of the end of time, you know, di ba? Sinabi ko yun eh. And somehow it rhymes with that. Tapos it somehow solves the eternal riddle of what is the meaning of light, you know, in Genesis, you know, when God said, you know, when it said that let there be light, you know, let us create man in our likeness, our image. Who is he talking to? You know what I mean? Parang first of all, if he is just by himself, he would not have said let us. You know, of course, literal to so parang theologically, you should not follow me in this line of thinking. Pero somehow, if you're going to go literal, parang ang ganda ng idea na, you know, in the beginning, let there be light. That was the first, creature, so to speak. You know, hindi naman niya pa pwede i-create yung sarili niya, you know. So, he's eternal, he's there from the beginning. The first thing that he created was light, you know. And maybe in the beginning, when I was young, I thought that yung light na yun is light of the sun, you know, the moon, whatever. Pero hindi I think mga 10 years old, 11 years old, when I said, no, it cannot be the same light because on the next day, he created the sun, the moon, and whatever, the stars. So it could not be that light. So it's a different light, okay? So I mean, what's that light? And then when I was in college, I discovered Plotinus, you know, mga the Neoplatonist, and even I think Augustine is, you know, Augustine, and I think the ancient church followed Plato first, no, before Aristotle. More or less, they somehow translated, or parang they somehow made that meaning. Doon sa, ito ang pinag-usapan dito, John 1 verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Logos, no? Kung titinan mo yung beginning na yun, and then ipapattern mo siya sa beginning. In the beginning, there was, ganyan, diba? So, the same beginning. So, sa opening ng book, hindi ko alam kung opening, pero somehow in the introduction ni Plotinus, mga Neoplatonists, you would see that's, dun yata bination, parang sasabihin natin, no? I think they kind of based the New Testament and the idea of Jesus being the Word, the Logos, you know? Kasi yung Logos yung idea ng mga Greek, na parang foundation ng world, you know? So there was God, the eternal intelligence, intellect, and he needed a physical attribute or whatever, mali yung term na ginagamit ko, no, to speak in order to make the eternal, which is unseen, immaterial, to be a physical thing, which is a physical world. Kaya nga he needed to say something, you know. So pwede naman niyang i-will yun without even saying anything, but it has to be spoken because it needs to be a physical attribute. It needs to be a physical manifestation. So let there be light. That was the first one, right? In the beginning was the Word, which is Word, Logos, di ba? And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Ngayon tuwing Angelus, we are saying, di ba? And the Word became flesh and dwelt amongst us. So it's like saying that the word that was, being mentioned by John the Beloved is actually Jesus Christ, the Word of God. Kaya nga yung mga ibang theologians in the beginning, Middle Ages, I think St. Thomas Aquinas wrote it like that, explained, hindi tama yung word na explain, pero that's the least that we can do. Explain the Trinity and the unity of God in that sense. The eternal intellect, yun yung source the intellect is the Father, and then the intellect knowing itself, parang if you know yourself, you have an idea, an image of yourself. And sa atin, yung image natin sa ating sarili, our idea about ourselves, our knowledge about ourselves is always imperfect. You don't know, even if ikaw yung mas diba? Ikaw yung mas nakakakilala sa sarili mo, hindi pa rin perfect yung knowledge mo about yourself. And even if your knowledge about yourself is like 100%, it cannot be as perfect as it would make that image, that word, become a manifested image, like a real entity. Diba? Hindi naman yung knowledge ni George sa sarili niya ay magiging George din, a material George, diba? So in God, since everything is perfect, ito yung explanation, the Word, which is Jesus, when He was spoken, He was made manifest to humanity. So therefore, parang talagang sabi nga ni St. Thomas Aquinas sa kanyang Summa Theologica, it is really hindi mag-put, parang siya ang pinakatama talaga. The second person is talagang tama lang na siya ay maging flesh, kasi when you like the intellect, there is the idea, the intellect knowing itself. It's a word, the word or the logos in this sense. Siyempre, in God, it is perfect, and therefore it cannot help but be manifest physically. So talagang of all the persons in the Trinity, siya talaga yung mas tamang maging a physical has a physical nature. Hypostasis tinatawag ng mga theologian, the divine hypostasis of Jesus Christ, one nature, two natures but one person, parang God and man, parang ganun yung idea. Okay, so in that sense, the intellect, the Father, knowing itself, the Son, the knowledge of itself becomes a perfect knowledge, a perfect image, the Word. And that the intellect and the knowledge of the intellect, there is a relationship with that. Parang kumbaga sa mathematics, reflexive property. Diba? A is equal to B. So the intellect knowing itself produces the perfect image, the Word itself. Now, the intellect loving itself through the Word or through the second person produces an eternal relationship, eternal moving, eternal love. Kasi yun yung intellect and will. The intellect, of course, it is going to be endowed with the will. Medyo may pagka-anthropomorphism na to, no? Intellect and will. So, kumbaga, compared with that, it's like the intellect loving itself or loving the image of itself is the spirit proceeding through them. Kaya if you will listen to the Nicene Creed and even the Athanasian Creed, makikita mo dyan yung there is one God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, one begotten, only one Father, and one Spirit proceeding from the Father and the Son. So anyway, Medyo complicated yung kasi theology yan, lalo na if you're not a Christian or a Catholic. Medyo it's hard to listen to this kind of teaching. Pero as I said, the idea that I realized na doon sa ni Canon is us being light bearers or light people or whatever. Nakalimutan ko yung exact term. So being children of light, diba? Parang let there be light is not the word, because the word is eternally there with God. It cannot be a subsequent creation, right? The humanity of Jesus Christ is created, but diba, the word cannot be, hindi naman siya yung let there be light, hindi naman si Jesus Christ yun, diba? So it has to be something else. So parang makikita mo rito na I think the lesson there was there is such a thing as like this light, and people who follow that kind of light, that light becomes a child of light, and they have mission. So parang ganun yung idea niya, that even before you came to the world, you already know where you're going to be. And most of these people are teachers, sabi nila, so tama-tama sa akin, the teachers. And kaya pala meron kang affinity towards people. Yung parang, sabi nga sa my daughter is that, there is a reason why you are always, a person that your friends would ask advice from. Parang, okay, punta natin yan si Andrea, si George, or si Miss Rochelle, whatever. So, kasi, they, more or less, they realize, or, somehow in their subconscious mind, they know that they need to be guided by these people, and ikaw yun. So, if you are supposed to be that guide, you should follow that calling, because that's your calling, that's your mission in life, and you know it. Kumbaga, if you are a member of that, if you're a light bringer, a light guide or whatever, you should know it. I mean, you eventually will know it, and there is no need to convince you to be part of it, because you know it from your spiritual upbringing. I mean, kahit na nasa kabilang ibayo kayo. I mean, yung tipong sasabi ko nga na that song, yung bang kahit na saan ka pumunta, you always end up with him, with the truth, with life. You always end up with being a good person. You cannot choose otherwise. That's one of the greatest miracles, I would say. And somehow, sabi ko nga, it fits everything that is sort of a missing piece in all the the things that I didn't understand about my life, and also sa dogma and all that. Diba? May mga bagay na it's hard for you to explain and understand, and it can only make it makes sense now because of that idea. Kumbaga, dati sinabi ko nga, we're all like angels, some of us with broken wings, and since we know how to deal with such brokenness, then we are able to heal others in the process. Yun yung idea ko dati. And now, ang idea naman dito is that not everybody is part of that, or maybe in certain episodes of their lives, maaring hindi kayong guide, you know? Maaring you are just a person who's being guided and you're not yet a guide. I don't know whether everybody becomes, you know, like children of light. But there are people who are, I don't want to say God's favorites pero something like that. Hindi naman to the point na, you know, whatever they do, eventually they will be saved. Ako, para sa akin, it's not something to be proud of. In fact, in some instances, it would be even like a burden of sorts. Kasi you cannot be like everybody else, right? So, hindi siya something to be proud of, you know, that then you will carry katanas and you will end up killing bad people. Hindi ganun It's more of like a burden, like servum servorum, servum servorum Dei. Ano ba sabi niya yan? Servants of the servants of God. Parang ganun yung model niya. It's not something to be proud of that you can lord it over. Kaya nga, even the sons of Zebedee, di ba? They asked Jesus, parang yung kanilang tatay asked Jesus, baka po pwede, yung isang anak ko nasa kaliwa mo, yung isa nasa kanan. Parang nainis pa si Jesus or something, you know. He was clearly this person, you know, he doesn't understand what it is, you know, he's asking for. Siyempre, yung mga ibang tao nainis kay John saka kay James, they did know, you know. Sabi nga the foxes have holes, pero yung the Son of Man doesn't have that. Hindi yan something to be proud of. And I'm reminded of the lives of really great saints. Martin de Porres, you know, Francis of Assisi. They really, or Dominic, you know, of the Dominicans, they have, you know, given their entire lives. Si Padre Pio, you know, some of them led entire lives in suffering. Diba? If you're that close to God, tapos ikaw pa yung nagsasuffer, minsan dadalawang isip ka, sabihin mo, ano ba yan? Mas maganda pang hindi na lang ako close kay God, no? Sa Diyos, kasi every time you know, every time I become good or whatever, or every time I struggle to be good, I end up being hurt, I end up being in pain or suffering. Sabi ng isang saint parang merong isang saint na nagtatravel papuntang Rome ba yan? Hindi ko alam kung si Teresa of Avila ba to, Teresa of the Child Jesus. But she was traveling, siyempre babae ito, no? And matanda na siya nung time na yun. And nalaglag yata yung karwahe niya na parang nalaglag sa putik or in short, natapon sa, you know, she got well, the karwahe, you know, nag-turn, so nalaglag siya sa mud, you know. She was thrown off in the mud. So sabi ni Saint Teresa, or whoever that saint was, Lord, ano ba naman yan? Kumbaga, is this how you treat your friends? You know, in a joking manner. You know how the saints are, right? They speak to Jesus or to God as if they're just friends, you know. They're just they're there, and you can speak to him as your friend. So ano ba yan, Lord? You know, is this how you treat your friends? Yeah. So sabi ni Jesus, or na-realize niya internally, sa kanyang voice, internal voice, that yeah, that's how I treat my friends. Kumbaga parang ang idea dun is that if you are going to, ano ko to this is something that of an insight. I don't know if this was my insight before when I was young. When I was usually dati masyadong mabait, you know, I would pray the rosary every day. So anyway, one of my meditations before if you want to be close to the cross, you will be bloodied all over. Hindi ka po pwedeng hindi malagyan ng dugo or masabit sa mga thorns ni Jesus Christ. If you want to hug Him in the passion, then prepare to be hurt, prepare to be bloodied all over, prepare to be ridiculed. Pag binabato siya, tatamaan ka, sigurado yun, so somehow that was my meditation before. And so sabi nga ni Saint Teresa kay Jesus, narinig in her heart, no wonder you don't have a lot of friends. So I think that's dito natin puputulin yung ating session ngayon. So I'm happy to still be here, and of course being able to share some things with you guys. I hope you continue to inspire others. Walang way para mag-communicate kayo dito sa ating podcast, but I really hope to be able to share more next time. I was busy on so many things. I was trying to write a book, finish the book. I think it's there. I mean, konti na lang, edit na lang talaga ng konti, and participate sa sa ebook Kindle, Amazon Kindle, and maybe some of the things that will be written there are insights from this. So I hope that you'll still be there next year. So God willing, we should be grateful for everything that we are receiving. I'm always reminded pag sa podcast, my friend Christine, I think ko alam kung ano ba birthday ni Christine, kung 26 pa, nakalampas na ba, or I think lampas na, wala ata siya sa Facebook. But anyway, she was my former office mate in Toyota, and I think she's celebrating her birthday. So happy birthday to you, Christine. I know you're one of the very few listeners of this. But yeah, may our tribe increase, and there's always endeavor to inspire others through our work, etc. So yun lang po. Maraming salamat. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, and let's always be a good advertiser of Jesus Christ, and of the good things. If you're not a Christian, advertiser of the light. A light advertiser. We should always be like that. So that when people look at us or see us, it's not anymore our lives that matter, but what we represent. And if you're a Christian, okay, maybe you will represent Jesus Christ. If you're a Buddhist, you will represent Buddha, or God. If you're a Muslim, you'll be representing Allah, and everything that is good about the world. All right, so that's it. Thank you very much. Bye.